Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hazmat Hardware Podcast. And the podcast is focused on hazmat responders in the industrial realm and industrial fire departments. I know. It's easy for me to say. I'm just tripping all over it tonight. My name is Randy. I've been on an industrial fire department for 18 years, primarily doing hazmat. With me today are two of my cohorts, Jeff and Steve.
I'm Jeff. Welcome.
I'm Steve. And as always, you're in for a good one.
It's gotta be
Babyface Steve.
So this is a second podcast in a row, right? So we left off, right, Steve?
Yeah, so we're picking back up on the incident command system and the minimum staffing roles of any call. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we already covered the incident commander and operations section chiefs.
Yep.
And we're starting to talk about safety officers.
Boo.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoops.
It's not necessarily a boo, right? So
Jeffrey's favorite role.
So it
Yeah,
seems like
it
at
is.
first, like when you about ICS, like I almost think about like sound terrible, like an appendix, right? So you're like, why do you need that for? Are you thinking safety? But the safety officer role is pretty important.
Shouldn't, yeah, they should be thinking about it, but people don't.
Right. So, but this is one person who shouldn't lose focus on it. It's a pretty important role. So that safety officer is responsible for specifically keeping focus on and only on identifying hazards that the team will encounter, like not only in the hot zone, but could be external hazards that migrate in, right? Monitoring conditions, making sure things are safe, haven't changed without people noticing. Enforcing safe practices. So that might be a big thing. So people don't cut corners. They aren't rushing. That's a big thing. You know, rushing. To
Absolutely.
get something
I
done.
agree. Yep.
So they are also ultimately responsible for preventing inferior death, right? They are ultimately the first line, middle, and last line. All the lines are supposed to be hyper focused on that. So that safety officer is very important because he has the authority to stop unsafe acts. Yeah, it's true. He or she has the authority to stop unsafe acts, so they can stop anything I see. Nope, full stop. We not going to happen. Because ... So pretty important role. Definitely hyper focused on one thing, given that power to call on all.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty important guy. I know that initially when you're learning ICS, it doesn't seem like it's. I know a couple of our calls, safety officer, I've thought pretty important, right? So they're solely not to engage in who you picked, what methodology you chose, what equipment you're using, but they are there to holistically look at all the things moving, not break. So
it's a very stressful job.
Yeah, is it ever? Yeah, so it's very hard to stay on task with something for a long time. So the longer the hazmat call goes, the harder that role gets because they have to conduct continuous risk assessments, hazard identification.
Yep.
If you're working, like in our case, like a mixed-use warehouse or something, but depending on where you're located, there might be hazards adjacent to you, behind you, in the next room over. Could be moving vehicles, could be chemical hazards, could be environmental, right? Could be heat of the day kind of thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a chemical hazard. It could be it's 102 and 97% humidity. You know, how long can I have my guys in suits before they start dropping? Right?
10 minutes.
Right, yeah. Or if they start filling up their boot with sweat like
water.
poor Bruce.
Depends on how much we like them.
Yeah, no doubt. So, but also the safety officer isn't just, while their job is standalone, they interface back into that ICS system. So they advise the incident commander on risk control and mitigation strategy. And so if it doesn't reach the level of all stop, but they have a better way of going at it, they're that the little guy who pops up on the IC's ear, hey, fella, ... I'd like to tell you about something. And, but that's a good thing, right? So, because a lot of times the IC is hyper focused on something else altogether for all the moving cogs. Something, especially a safety related thing, but that's where that safety officer comes in, right? Then also, in addition to environmental hazards, chemistry hazards, vehicle hazards, maybe PPE use, right? So depending on what you're working on, you have breakthrough thresholds, right? So how long it takes something to permeate through, and maybe the safety guy is the guy with the stopwatch, right? So maybe you only got 24 minutes versus chemical. Maybe he's the one timing it. Like at a 15-minute mark, he's like, no.
Now you're out.
Yeah, we got to
Because you
swap
still have
up
to
suits.
decon. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the safety role can take on a lot of different things, especially if they see something that's unsafe. So, like if, let's say, something slips in transit, or maybe I know we've had a call where the chemical got on the outside of a metal drum and it turned the paint into almost like slime.
It's slip and slide.
Yeah. And so it was very impressive, but then the two people we sent down range, they needed help, right? Because two people weren't getting this full drum, a 55-gallon drum with basically it's like slathered in slime. They're not getting this thing where it needs to be. It's so unsafe operation. When a safety guy would step in, hey, well, you need extra muscle. Can we send in a couple more guys? Can we stop this before someone gets crushed or this drum falls on them and breaks a bone or something?
Yep.
And then in addition to that, safety should also, once you're out of that hot zone, maybe put an eye towards rehab. And so go back to that 102-degree day scenario with 97% humidity. Just because you got out of the suit doesn't mean you're still not like dying, right? Because you haven't recovered. You're still probably red-faced and huffing and chuffing. So safety might want to keep an eye and see how you're doing. Might want to think about those conditions, adjusting better rehab. They're trying to get in other things, misting fans or ice or something else, right? So their role doesn't have to be hyper-focused downrange at the hot zone only. So they can work on that too. But, it's important then, especially if like this is a long play scenario and it goes on for more than a shift, which thankfully we've never had anything even approach that. But then to develop and communicate safety messages from one safety officer to the next one and also to the IC so they can be part of their report. Right? That effective communication is important too. Not only just developing in the moment, being able to make sure you can hate what you need to do, what has been done effectively.
Yep.
That's a lot. It's a lot on one dude.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, and then also, heaven forbid, something should happen, right? So you have someone done fall out, DFO'd, in suit or out of suit, or you have something slip and fall or break or whatever, right? Those safety incidents, they kind of come back to that safety guy, and I think it's his job to kind of document what happened, how it happened. I'm not saying he needs to eat the entire report, but I think he needs to be the primary.
No, but he needs to be able to tell that story.
Right.
Yep.
I think if anyone akin to ours, like they might use something like a method 1 investigation.
Fishbone.
Yeah, Nick.
5 wise.
So, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Better on long enough to keep collecting things.
Ugh.
But so they might use one of those methods to kind of diagram what happened. Not so much. I will always say it's never going to start out as my technician. Never a frickin' day.
Nope.
So,
Agreed.
I will say it's equipment, environment, situation. I do not blame my people. So, because I think we've mentioned this a couple times
driver.
Before. Forklift driver sometimes, man. It happens. They don't go according to plan, or maybe their approach wasn't as smooth. Sometimes it happens, man. Hit a chuck hole, or you turn the wheel too much, or stop too quickly.
Or you just have
Things
a forklift
happen.
driver who's not qualified to drive forklift.
Yeah,
Never
I'm
seen
not
that.
qualified at all, man. I am so unqualified. That's okay. So they don't let me in a fork truck anymore. I'm just saying. But so the safety guy is pretty important, right? So once again, while he reports to IC, he kind of beyond that operates independently, but has the ability to stop scene, make things happen. So pretty important guy.
Yep.
So I think that kind of covers the safety guy pretty well. Do you guys have any other notes? The thoughts on it?
No, I think you. I thought you brought that or did that very well.
No, I
guess
I agree.
Well, let me ask this. So, like, this has been hyper focused on hazmat, right? And hazmat. But often do you think a safety officer may wait on other calls while you're finding space?
I think you need
think
it
it's
on
warranted for
almost
those?
any call you have.
Yep. I think the one point that might not have pointed out, though, is on some smaller calls, that safety officer might also be a dual role, might be the IC. So that's where you might see it in some of those other roles a little more.
Okay. So yeah, I could say, yeah, if you definitely don't have like a plethora. Yeah, I could see how you can get double headed like that because the IC's in charge of the seat. So I could see how they could.
Yep.
And that happens, right? So you get just so many people showing up, right? Might be at 11:30 at night on a weekend. You don't know, man. It's a volley on call department kind of thing. You'd like to have people show up, but if once again, if other places are like our place, third shift's pretty skimpy for responders. We have some pretty good ones, but it's not a giant number of them.
We never get calls at 2:00 in the morning for methyl death.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's a thing, friend. That should be its own episode, maybe.
Ugh.
We should do that as a series, like the 2 or 3 times we got called for that. How that works. That would be that would be
we
a fun
can.
call
I'm
story.
sure we could condense it down into one short episode.
Oh yeah. But it might be a future episode. Work on that. But yeah, so okay. So then maybe safety has more than a role in just hazmat. We play. I guess I've never seen one, honestly, in our or medical. Never seen a safety.
No, we haven't. I think. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even for municipal departments, I'm not sure that there's truly a safety officer. You just take on that role as the people responding.
I think the only time it might cross their mind on a medical is it's a mass casualty triage kind of.
Right.
Then
And then then you'll probably have a lot of these ICS positions filled.
Oh yeah, because you got real serious. Real quick. One medical based scenario where it's going to pop up and.
Yep.
All right, beat this thing to death. I think. Safety out.
Yeah.
What other roles we got, Steve?
So next up on our list is the accountability officer, which we kind of just do it. We don't really talk about it that much, but it's a big key role within the ICS system.
Mm-hmm.
And the accountability officer tracks all personnel assignments, locations, their status, their ensuring rapid accountability at all times in every evolving situation, and that can obviously change at any moment. So that's a key role to know where everyone is, what their assignment is. It gives the both operations section as well as the IC the ability to just say, hey, we had this happen in this area. Who's there? Who do we need to get out? So it's a very key role. The accountability officer establishes and maintains the accountability system, which can vary from department to department, or even from the call discipline. I mean, we obviously use varying systems for medical calls, where kind of just have a sign-in sheet for who was on the run at the end. Yeah. I think a lot of other departments are the same way with that. Versus hazmat, we have an accountability board that we're keeping up to date at all times.
Yes.
Similar with fire and confined space, you're going to have some sort of a board to track who's in what role.
Yep.
So they're going to maintain that system however your department deems the best way to do so is. They're also going to track those assignments and locations as well as time on task, which is a big key component. Because we all know, once you get in there, you're not really paying that close attention to how long you've been working on that, and your air bottle could be down to nothing before you know it.
Yep. Not paying attention until a backpack starts vibrating on you.
When the mask starts shaking, you know you got an issue.
Oh, crap. Hey, boss.
I think I need a decon.
Not now.
Both inside and out.
Yeah, grab your new undies too.
Not the crusty ones, though.
Nah, we threw those away last week.
We should do an episode on hazmat calls in the summer, man. Especially like the wardrobe issue.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really, really good. I think we've got good examples of when it's going poorly, but I think we have good workarounds about how it works better now.
Yeah, there's nothing like wearing a level A baked potato suit in the middle of 100 and some degrees.
Oh man, that is so terrible.
Yeah, we've also had fire gear during a fire when it was 100 degrees out as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
To
Yeah,
be honest,
that was a no bueno.
There have been a couple times I almost DFO'd in bunker gear because it was so hot and I was sweating for so long.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Glad it got called off when it did because I was wobbling on my feet.
Yeah.
So additionally, the accountability officer is going to conduct personal accountability reports, otherwise known as PARs, as needed throughout the call. They're going to maintain real-time resource status, which is big. They're taking into account all the logistics that are going on at the same time as what's going on inside the call, which sometimes is actually more important than what the entry team downrange is doing, to be honest, on some calls. I mean, we've sat around waiting for resources to get shuttled into us for probably 20 minutes, half an hour while we're just sitting there. Well, we got the leak stop, but we got nothing to overpack it with.
That never happens. Come on,
meanwhile,
Steven.
sweating inside the suit.
Yeah. As it gets fogged up.
No, that never happens.
Oh my gosh.
We have these wonderful harnesses with towels now. I don't know why you're saying that didn't happen before.
Well, that helps, but
It does help, but once that gets saturated, it doesn't help anymore.
Yeah, you're just moving the moisture around, making Zen patterns.
Ugh, I'm so moist.
Although I do have to say, it might be worth noting that like our accountability board, like we're used to like the standard passport tags. That's not what we use for our. Use a board, but like, board is. Because like,
Yeah.
I know from our perspective, like I've taken photos of our accountability board because it's a mini snapshot, it's a mini story, and I can write a report off of it.
Yep.
I've written quite a few off of it.
Because we have, like on our accountability board, like passport tags will like tell you what vehicle people are assigned to. All that good crap. But our board actually has the ICS rules there. In addition to that, we have other rules like headers, like they use magnetite. Yeah, we have like entry one and we have a safety officer and as officer and we have all those roles we've talked about so far on an actual tile.
Yep.
We set it up like a storyboard. It's nice because that way we know who's doing what and we change it in real time. So if things change, I know I've taken multiple photos of a scene as things have changed. That way I can document that in my report later.
But we also put notes on that board too, like I'm on air, off air.
Oh.
Yep.
So, I mean, it really does tell a story.
Yeah.
And we also have each person's qualifications next to their name to make it kind of quick and easy. No matter who shows up and has to be put in that role of IC or operations, they can make a quick decision based on that.
Right, yes. Because
Which is...
we've talked about it before, not everyone on our team, not all. A lot of us do have all those crosses.
But some of us don't.
Right, we're happy to have people for what they're willing to help us with.
And I mean, even just within Hazmat, if you're Hazmat certified, we have different levels of that. And we've got our specialists, we've got our techs, we've got ops. And let's be honest, if I'm showing up at 3 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, I'm probably getting people that I have no idea. I haven't seen them in 6 months. I don't know what their level of certification is right off the top of my head.
Yep.
You're just happy to have a warm body at 3 a.m. on a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, friends, come on in.
I'm not doing this whole thing myself today. Sweet.
Yes.
Yep.
And sometimes you just get 4 people. Like, oh, well.
That's usually when I get the phone call. Hey, you coming in?
Yeah.
Ah, darn it. Yep.
You usually get the response of, nah.
Depends. On a weekend? Nah.
God's never look poorer.
I can close my eye and drive one-eyed.
Yeah. Squint. Done it a few times.
Golf cart, that is. Yeah, golf cart.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Back on track here. Wrapping up what the accountability officer does. They're going to coordinate with operations for accurate tactical assignment tracking, ensure proper check-in and check-out of all the units, which is a key component, and then support post-incident documentation, which may be the most important role there. Because we all know reports can get a little shoddy depending on who's writing it, how close they're paying attention. So having all those details is a key component.
Great.
And with those reports, keep in mind you have to be able to recall that report or that call up to a couple years later, and when you're in front of a lawyer, if that wasn't written down, it probably wasn't done then.
Yeah, it didn't.
According to them.
Love saying that when we write medical reports, like, don't document it. It didn't happen.
Yep.
Goodness sake, especially on medical, litigious. even when it's not medical, hazmat and fire. Hell, if you didn't write it down, it didn't.
It didn't happen.
But yeah, that's a great point, Jim.
And then lastly, they're going to report to, depending on the size of your call, either the operations section chief or your incident commander. They're typically going to be your company officers or crew leaders and task force strike leaders. So they're kind of a unique role there, that they know what they're doing, they do that well, and they report to the top of the chain, keeps everything rolling.
Yep. And I think what you said earlier, Steve, with some of the other roles here, even with accountability, you might have your IC or company officer assume that responsibility of accountability as well. It depends on the amount of people that you have on a scene.
So I think that one's about beaten to death as well for accountability. So why don't you take our final key role, no matter what call you're on, Jeff?
All right. Well, it's not my favorite one because I can't talk very well, obviously, but we'll go with public information officer.
But I love it when you're that person.
Oh, be fair, man. You did not cause take 2 on this episode.
That is true.
I'm driving that struggle bus, friend.
You're just the pirate talk.
Right.
you didn't last 10 seconds with that one.
I know. Terrible. It's like stumbling out of the gate. Terrible.
Yeah, all right. So, public information officer, that would be something I would do. You can't be swearing, so forth. But, all right, let's first go. What is a public information officer? Well, it manages the information shared with the public and the media. And we all know how the media likes to turn shit around, but they
That's
manage
all true facts.
Oh god! They manage the coordination with the outside agencies, whether it be ambulance, other fire departments, hospitals, even the utilities. Whether you need like power lines, gas companies, and other partners that you have. Smaller incidents, they may be combined and handled again by the IC. But, their detailed responsibilities are pretty much to develop and release accurate, authorized information to the public. That can be coordinating the press briefings and media inquiries, and monitor and correct misinformation. There's not a lot of that happening in these days.
Never.
But that's kind of a sore subject. But they also maintain unified messaging with partner agencies. If it's a hazmat call, you're going to have to deal with fire, hazmat, and even medical, even the hospitals, and the utilities as well. They're all partner agencies. If you're dealing with rail, you're going to be dealing with the rail people too. And that's a struggle in and of itself.
Hopefully, you have a good relationship with whoever.
Yeah, that'll be a task in and of itself. But you do serve as a primary contact point for the assisting agencies. They should be coming to you. You do track the agency involvement and support needs. Depending on that call, you could actually need a lot of support. Again, medical, mass casualties, everything. And then you do coordinate the meetings between the IC and the partner agencies. So, you're going to be in a trailer somewhere or what your staging area, and you're going to be having meetings with many, many people. You need somebody that can talk very well, which is why that would not be me. You need to articulate what your needs are in a precise way. You can't pussyfoot around.
See, you do a good job of that.
Oh, I'm usually too direct. That's the issue.
Remember, the key phrase is, we own this side of the street and the other side. You gotta let us stop.
Yeah.
Keep on going.
Right.
So the public information officer does report to the incident commander, obviously. Again, but it could be the one and the same, depending on the size of the call. Supervises, receives reports from everyone, including the media. They have to decipher that media jargon, how they try to twist every word that you say. The agency representatives and support agencies. And does receive the operational updates from operations, planning, and the IC.
Although
Again,
say, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
For industry like us, your company's big enough, they might actually have their own dedicated PIO. So if you have an incident, this interfacing with the media might actually get handled by larger corporate. Get scot-free, you just need to report up to your industrial PIO. They'll handle all the media.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we deal with so much of a headache just getting to that point with all the different levels you got to go through.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
If you can do that, it'd be nice, because then you just face with the different jurisdictions, departments.
But a larger business probably isn't going to want a lot of that information out. They don't want that negative press. Not that the press does any negative news, but
That's all a balancing act. Public image.
yeah. So if I don't have Chat GTP, my words aren't the greatest.
I would love to have you as my public information officer, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Steven.
Because you're going to get to the point of what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm going to say it very directly.
And in the
very
manner
bluntly.
that I mean it.
And it'll be now.
Jeff Masters.
But,
I'm just going to train you how to be a PIO the real way.
Ooh,
I'd like that.
That would be so
can we
awesome.
do that as a training in future?
I would like that.
I don't think so. Anytime I use a swear word, I have somebody that always comes around and says, "Do you think you could use a better word than that?"
No.
I heard a nasty rumor that every time you use a swear word, your coffee cup in HR warms up.
I'm sure it does. I just emptied it again the other day, so I'm sure it's on its way up again.
I also heard a secondary nasty rumor that it seems like every time he uses a swear word, Chief happens to be right around the corner.
That is
That
not
part's
a false
super true.
statement. That is a very true statement. Anyone else can say whatever they want. I say it, and I'm serious. He'll come around the corner. I think you could have used a different word than that. You didn't hear that word come out of somebody else's mouth 2 seconds ago? You just heard it from me.
You got the worst luck with that.
Dang.
I only know from personal experience because I've said it 2 seconds before you and after you, and you're the one that gets caught.
Yeah, every time.
Yep.
It's the volume that you use when you say it.
No, that might be the volume or the emphasis behind it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's my luck. All right, so Steven, how can they get a hold of us?
As always, you can reach out to us at hazmatharder@gmail.com or industrialstrength@thehazmatguys.com. As well as on any one of the platforms we're on, you can drop a comment in the episode and we will get back to you on it.
Randy, what do we have coming up next?
So we are trying to, I guess depends if we have a couple guests we wanted to get on. Depends if those stars align for us. Yes, sir. But if not, I'm not sure. We have a couple things we talked about tonight, and I think we have a couple episodes that we developed on our own. Sure, we're gonna have to see. I would prefer to do.
So we're gonna be as surprised as our listeners on what's next.
Agreed.
I usually am, even when I know what we're doing.
Yeah, just
Me too.
Go up, no topics, go with it. Roll, see what we do.
I think we may have done that once.
I think we did.
Got lucky.
I don't think that episode got aired.
I don't think that one did either. No, that didn't.
Times. All right.
It's so warm.
It's so warm.
It was.
Sure it was.
The regular was fine. And it
Anyway.
probably had something to do with what was consumed prior to that.
That probably has a lot to do with it, but that's a different.
Those
All right,
dark
so anyway.
peaches.
All right, so stay tuned. We will come up with a topic. Like I said, if we can get a guest lined up, we'll do guests. If not, we'll have a topic to talk about.
Stay tuned.
Episode. Stay tuned. It'll be entertaining nonetheless. Maybe less of a struggle bus. Until then,
Yeah,
Hazmat Harder.
Hazmat Harder.